Hey guys, Dr. Dex here. Today, I thought it'd be interesting to do a video. We have an electrician here that's pre-wiring a lot of the deck areas that we're building on our current deck build. And I don't think I've ever talked to you about that. So while I have Tim here from Destiny City Electric, I thought we could go over a few things. But before we do, don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit that bell icon, guys. All right. So Tim, thanks for taking the time out of your day to be with us. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
I just thought you could explain to us a little bit about what you're doing here today and why, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So pretty straightforward here on this build that Jason's got going on. We had some existing lighting in the old deck. What we're gonna do is we're gonna expand that lighting circuit, adding some new rough-in locations for some surface mount lights that the homeowner has provided for us. In addition to the lighting on each level of the decks, we're going to be cutting in some general purpose light use exterior outlets on each level, all of these decks here. In addition to that, we're going to be cutting in new switches inside each exterior door to provide power for
the crystal rail, right?
Crystal rail, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Provide power for our crystal rail transformers, so the homeowner will have the access to turn those on and off from inside his home.
Which we've never done that before. That's kind of cool. So instead of having a clicker for each deck individually, there'd be 5 different remotes, and that would be kind of cumbersome for the client. They're gonna have a wall switch that they're just gonna flip the switch, and that will turn on the glass lighting for each section. So if they only wanna run the lighting for like the main deck, they can just hit a switch. If they wanna run the lighting for all 4 decks out back, then they have to hit a wall switch for each one, and then there's a 5th one that's gonna be out front. You're doing a switch in there too, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Somewhere in the garage or something?
Yep, down inside the garage, we'll be adding a switch for the front deck once that project takes off.
Cool. So as the builder here, and we've been here for probably 8 weeks, there's only one power outlet on the back of this house. And so I told the client, I was like, hey, I think it'd be wise if you had power on every level of each location, and that's kind of why you guys are going to be adding power to each level, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
except for this down here, you don't need anything down here.
Yeah, down here we've got the existing one outlet for the back of this house. As you guys can probably see, the back side of this house is fairly expansive. One outlet out here, probably not adequate for what we're going to be looking for your exterior living. And
yeah, I mean, you got to run your blenders and your televisions and all kinds of cool stuff out on your deck,
power
right?
Up your speakers and whatever you got to do.
Probably mostly I was thinking is like if you have a family event and you got teenagers, they got to have a place to charge their cell phones. So they got to have a power outlet, man, or they're going to go nuts.
That's right.
Or they're all going to be sitting in one room where the power plug is, where they're going to be charging their phones. So basically, he has to come in before we can finish because they have to pre-wire everything and they have to fish stuff into the walls, which is going to be one of the more complicated parts of this build, where you guys are actually running new wires through the existing framing where you're going through the sheetrock. You have to cut extra holes in the sheetrock?
We're going to attempt to do the least amount of sheetrock removal as we can. It's a fine art, but yeah, we'll be adding the switch leg, which the tricky part of it is we'll be transitioning from a lower floor to an upper floor through the framing of the deck, the skeleton that we have here. So a 2-man project, ideally. So yeah, the least amount of sheetrock possible.
Mm-hmm. But you might have to.
It's inevitable. Unfortunately, it is an inevitable.
You're gonna have to cut a few holes here and there to get some stuff in.
Yeah.
So, all right, Tim, thanks for explaining all that. I really didn't want to take up too much of your time today, but it really helps our audience figure out that this just doesn't happen. You know, we just don't build the deck and do the softening and all of a sudden there's lights and cool switches for the crystal rail. You actually have to go in and pre-wire this stuff, and it's gonna take some more time and more expense to your deck project if you wanna do it that way and have a very customized, cool look and everything is flush and you don't see all the stuff. You know, it's all hidden. So just something to think about for your future deck build where you might need to pre-plan some stuff and get a professional electrician. I am not licensed to do high voltage, what would you call it, AC or
what kind of low voltage wiring?
I can do low voltage.
06 wiring.
But anything that's like standard 110 or above, I'm not qualified and I don't have the proper license to do that, but this guy does. So that's why he's here today and tomorrow prepping all this stuff so that when we get done with all of our soffit and all the finish work's done, then they can come back and install the lights and then it's a done deal. So thanks, Tim. I really appreciate you.
Yep,
all right, guys, if you like this video, please don't forget to click that subscribe button, hit the bell icon icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. Leave a comment below. Let me know about your electrical that you've done on your projects, and don't forget to like this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.